Just 30 seconds now.
Hopefully we're live and you guys can hear me.
Remain true.
Let's do audio.
There will be screaming.
Alright. This could be a very casual cast. Welcome to Seal, everybody. Week 4 between Team Granola versus Team veryoldman. This is game 2. I actually didn't catch who won game 1. I can probably check real quick. Seal. I think it's this game, yeah. So Team Oldman won the first game, 45-27. And game 2, we have a Shadow Shaman, DK, Nature's Prophet, Axe, Tinker, playing off against Lifestealer, Queen of Pain, and Mag, CK, and Hoodwink. Need to get my camera zoom as well. This is like, I literally just had time to prep it right now, so we're just getting everything together. Top lane, H is getting chased down by the CK and Lifestealer. They're going very deep for this. Creeps are currently getting XP soaked by the Rasta. They will be getting the first blood. They'll be going to Granola on that position 1 Lifestealer. So a good start for Team Granola. Quick matchups. Rasta Axe is pretty strong. A little bit anti-synergy because Rasta makes it so they can't attack the Axe. But if they get caught in a wave, then the Axe is in there getting hit by creeps. You can do a lot of damage while they're locked down next to the Axe. And Rasta and Axe are just 2 very strong meta heroes at the moment, so having them on the team is pretty good, even if they're not great together in lane. Versus Hoodwink Lifestealer. Lifestealer is pretty hard to bully out. Axe is one of the stronger heroes versus Lifestealer. But if the Lifestealer is allowed to get levels, he can sort of just sustain in lane no matter what. Mid lane DK versus Queen of Pain. I think it's mostly DK favored. I think it depends a lot on the skill of the 2 players, because DK is one of those heroes that does get quite a bit of regen. And you need regen to beat Quap. So if you're able to dodge the worst of the magic damage as DK, you should have a fine time in lane. Bottom lane with a nice skewer by Dimitri after the setup stun from Seal. They will be able to bring down this position 1 Furion. The Support Tinker is going to try and scare them away with the March of the Machines. Gets very low for his efforts. And Mediocre is just going to have to be content with getting the XP after his Prophet dive. Prophet will be going bottom, not looking for any kind of pick-off play. So 2-0 start for Team Granola. A bottom lane, I think Prophet likes to have a lockdown here just so he can right-click things. But the nice thing about this lane is like the Prophet can leave to go get picks, and the Tinker does a pretty good job of just like soaking XP using March of the Machines. I say that veryoldman got a little caught out of position. Seal's getting very low though. Can't run into the March, so Prophet's gonna get healed up by Tinker with that Lotus and back off. Meanwhile, top lane we have a bit of a skirmish going on. Axe is trying to get on top of this Hoodwink. Hoodwink doing an excellent job kiting backwards. Lifestealer is just left alone to be right-clicking these heroes down. And it's just an HP exchange for the moment. Item-wise, DK going with pretty high tankiness, double bracer, going for that full wand, treads, probably Mage Slayer. So very tanky bruiser DK to try and survive the initiate kind of like lockdown of Team Dire. Team Dire's draft is very much like, you know, Bushwhack, CK stun, Nag stun. So you like catch heroes out of position, you stun them, you lock them down, you burst them. So having this DK be as tanky as possible to make him survive for his team to be able to react and come in is a pretty decent counter to that sort of draft. Meanwhile, Team Radiant, they have a solid team of push heroes. DK, Rasta, Fury, and all very strong pushers. Axe gives them the kind of team fight that those heroes lack. Also gives them good lockdown for this Queen of Pain and this Lifestealer. Very strong axe game. But I think this axe is going to need to have a good lane in order to pop off and be able to do a lot versus these dire cores. So we'll try and keep an eye on how good H is doing. Right now, running at Drabs on that Hoodwink will kill him, but axe will fall as a result of that kill. So Lifestealer getting that solo XP. I want to pull up a chat real quick. Let me see if I can do that without breaking the stream. Yeah, no one's chatting. Okay. Top lane, open wounds. It's going to be used on the axe as they scout out the pole. But not contesting it for the moment. I expect there's going to be a fight over this pole. That's why we're hanging up here. DK is getting pretty low in the mid lane. But I don't think he's in too much danger until this Quap gets level 6, which he just does now, but has no mana for that ultimate ability. Gonna have some more trades going on. Rasta wanted to go for the Lotus, but is forced to go back because of this Lifestealer's initiation onto the axe. Furion will TP in. They're gonna try and focus down this Lifestealer. Very quick on the Quelling Blade to break out, but unfortunately there was a tree there to block the path. So Lifestealer will go down. Meanwhile, on the bottom, or the mid lane, Queen of Pain did use ult to secure that DK kill. DK not respecting the damage output from Queen of Pain with that level 6. Did go down. I think there's actually a seal rotation. Don't know if it'll show it on the post replay, but yeah, +1 here. So the CK likely came in with a stun to set up that kill. And what do I think about the drafts just as a whole? Team Dire is very similar to what they've drafted in the past, where they basically go like win lane heroes, they go snowball, pick off heroes, and they kind of just like take over a lot of the map with these, you know, high damage output, high stun heroes in the early game. And then you have a couple of team fight heroes like the Queen of Pain and the Magnus, just to give them that kind of staying powder for when the fights do go 5v5. It does require you to have good lane kill. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, actually, kind of a death fight. Veryoldman will die first, giving those dire heroes that XP, but Seal will fall. So support for the position 1 definitely worth for Team Dire. A Team Radiant, lots of push heroes, pretty durable heroes. I think the Furion is likely going to be the most important hero to watch, just like how much space can this hero make. Can this hero tip fights into the favor of Team Radiant? Kind of like prevent these ganks, because Dire's players are very active players. I have a TP rotation in by the CK. They're going to try and counter-initiate onto this Shadow Shaman, who is a manaless. Will not be getting away from the CK. CK actually moves over to try and find this Axe, but Axe is long gone by that time. Furion takes the opportunity to push out the bottom lane, with Axe going, or showing, or not the Axe, the CK, with the CK showing top. So a little bit of a back and forth. Gaben thinks that Dire's draft is slightly advantaged. Could just be an early game thing. They definitely have the more tempo heroes. Radiant really want items before they start fighting. Gonna have a bit of a go on this Queen of Pain. She does have invis, but there is a sentry. She is gonna be forced to blink out and break that. But will escape. We have Dire supports down here, waiting for the Prophet to show up. The Prophet is mid, hitting your buildings. You're gonna have to go to the mid lane if you want to kill him. And will Dire respond to this early aggression? It's very difficult to push into the Tinker at this stage of the game. Level 3 March of the Machines does a ton of damage. And even if it doesn't, there's just like a intimidation factor to it. Like you don't want to be walking into this stuff. Drabs actually gets very low, does not tick to the DK poison. Queen of Pain ult is used. Lifestealer has shown up as the rest of Dire have shown up. Excellent ult by the Magnus. Will catch 3 heroes. And pick your target. Who wants to die? They're actually going to split attention and go for everybody. Queen of Pain will blink in, but Dimitri with that last hit. 3 hero wipe. Going to the favor of Team Granola. Nice 1500 gold swing there. So they did take the tower, they stuck around trying to get more kills, they failed to kill that Hoodwink, and by that point Dire had plenty of time to come in, rotate, and mop up with that excellent RP.
Dire's bottom tower is
Unstable.
Dire's
Average bitrate too high. Hang on, I gotta lower the bitrate. This is a new setup I have, new computer, so my settings aren't the same. We'll watch this team fight real quick, even though it's probably lagging as all hell. As we have a bit of a cluster, veryoldman gets kind of isolated in the middle of all those Dire heroes. Radiant heroes aren't really able to do anything to save him. Nice Hoodwink ults, breaks the shaman, so no chicken for you, sir. As Nameless goes down. And the axe is here, going for that blade mill before blink, so not really able to have that much of an impact as I go to stream. Output video bitrate 3000. We'll do 3500. I think I had it 3500 before. Alright, let's reload and see how Twitch likes that. Bottom lane, Max is going to go on the Prophet. Prophet tried TPing out of there, but Magnus was there with the Blink Dagger on time to cancel that TP. Were some Radiant heroes that rotated and trying to save that, so very costly pick off there. 14 Radiant as they burn those 2 tier TPs. I guess it's not so bad for Tinker because he has that Keen Covance. Isn't actually using the TP slot. Are we still too unstable? It says 6,000, but I lowered it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're good. We was to kill. Looks like the Tinker got caught out by the Lifestealer. So Lifestealer's doing pretty good. He's 4, 1, and 6, as I don't have last hits denies up here. There we go. So last hits denies, favoring Axe, to be expected with getting all those jungle creeps. Drab's doing their best to try and get out of there, but DK Shaman, just a little bit too much pressure. They will drop Snake for this. With the DK ult, this should be a guaranteed top tower. And Doom Cow. Actually, Shaman's going to be getting the kill with that big Serpent. Oh, but yeah, to be expected, Axe and Queen of Pain leading the charts. Hitting jungle creeps, you're going to get a lot more creep score than just sitting in lane. Kind of a discrepancy though between the Lifestealer and these Radiant heroes. Although Lifestealer has been getting hero kills, so has been supplementing that. If we swap over to Networth real quick, you can actually see Dire's heroes are very far ahead as they have been getting those pickoffs and those kills. It's been supplementing their creep score. And not good for Team Radiant's draft because they are a bit greedier. They are more item reliant, so getting behind, it's kind of the nature of playing into Dire's draft. Like this Dire draft, you know, is built to win lanes and then get an early game advantage, and that's exactly what they're doing. But it's not good. Like you can't really take fights until your Axe gets items, your DK gets items, your Prophet gets items. These heroes need items to really be able to contribute much to a fight. Meanwhile, like Queen of Pain, Magnus, CK, like they're doing lots of damage and lockdown without any kind of items. DK's really the only one that can be fighting right now, but gonna be hard for him. He can get controlled pretty hard without BKB. Anyway, enough of my triad. Seems like Radiant is, for the most part, dodging Dire's heroes. Axe is trying to get that Blink Dagger up. That's likely going to be the timing that Radiant is looking for when they want to take a next team fight. So they're applying pressure top, they're keeping the creep flip pushed in to keep Dire heroes here to force back the wave. And the bottom tower will fall to Granola. As Granola is going for that Radiance. Should be a pretty early Radiance timing with all these kills in CS. Clean a Pain. Went Blade Mill. Actually, we have a pick off top. CK found the Shaman and gets the TP out. Excellent play by Seal. Trying to keep an eye on things. Nice little 400 gold swing there for Team Dire off that pickoff. The Hoodwink is going to show on the Watcher. Drabs out of position. They're lacking the damage though. Sprout comes out, misses the Hoodwink. And there's a Dimitri here. You got to be a little bit careful. Dire are starting to show up in numbers. Queen of Pain showing on the wave. Actually, I think Lifesteal was infesting the Magnus. Magnus able to find that Tinker. DK is actually going to go in, finds the Hoodwink, gets that pick off. Unfortunately, CK is there to cancel that TP, so Doomcow not able to replicate what Seal did on that Shaman pickoff, and it will get brought down. It is very nice having all these stun heroes because you don't have to think too much about saving stuns to cancel TPs. Rasa will show to Hex the Lifestealer to try and keep the tower alive for another second, but that's going to cost Nameless their life. Is that CK just has so much range on the Reality Rift. You get the level 10 for the plus 225 cast range, and soon he's going to have the 8th lens to buff that even further. And it gives you like a 1300 range Reality Rift. Like, it's ridiculous how long it is. Almost like a pudge blink or pudged hook, but it's single target and just automatically grabs. TK is farming under vision. They're gonna find them. Surprised Dimitri didn't actually go for the tower. Might have been a little bit too obvious, but that's the dead CK DK nonetheless. Team Dire expand their advantage. There aren't a ton of wow factor heroes on Team veryoldman or Team Radiant. There's no like Enigma or Earthshake or anything like that, so I think it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to turn to fight. They get a nice 2-man call on the Magnus. That's the hero they need to go on. He gets the RP off and actually gets out. That is crazy. Nice Queen of Pain is going to just break this fight in half. As heroes are actually dying on Dire. 3 people die on the side of Dire. Hoodwink gets out. Mag got out. Managed to get the TP out, but wow. I guess Radiant did have the damage for that. Give me the fight recap. So I guess, yeah, just off that Berserker's call, they were able to get the Mag. He did get the RP off, but it was on like 1 or 2 heroes. Not that impactful. And I guess the Wrath of Nature coming in along with the Big Snake doing a ton damage. Well, I guess it was mostly the Axe and Furion. And the Dire heroes just did not do enough damage. A lot of disable, but not enough damage. Nice fight by Team veryoldman. It's gonna bring him back a little bit. Actually evens up the XP score. Even at the gold, there's still a ways to go. Continuing to look at items, DK opted to go for that Blink Dagger, finishing it before the, I think it's Mage Slayer. It's Mage Slayer or Witchblade? It's Mage Slayer. Lifestealer did grab that Radiance, now going for Sanj and Yasha at this time. Magnus has Blink, has Force Staff, going Lincoln's Aghanims. Axe, Blink Blade Mail, going BKB next. Pretty standard stuff. Furion is TPing away from me. Sorry for moving the camera around so much. Has that full Mjolnir going Dragonlance, and will be found by Dimitri. Has the shield rinse, or the barrier from the W, so gonna stay alive a little bit longer. There's a DK right here. They will be able to burst down this mag. No RP on him for another 10 seconds. Furion tries to get out of there, but will die. And this will cost Granola his life, as the Shaman was there to shackle, keeping a lifestealer in place as Rage expired. So 1 for a 1 and a 2. Very nice exchange for Team Radiant as they pick up another little bit of advantage against Team Granola. Bottom lane DK wants to use the rest of his ult to bring down this tower. I don't imagine the CK is going to be able to say much about this as the tower does fall. DK has an 18 stick, doesn't have that much mana. Axe is going to try for the call. That's going to get punished very hard as CK just yoinks him back. He's gonna find the Shaman as well and just yoink them back. Him back next. Nameless tries to run away, but feels like all Dire here, at least 4 of their heroes are here, and they bring down those 2 heroes. So try overstrain their welcome. Axe missing that call when his team wasn't really in position with the DK ult expiring. And you're just gonna get punished with that CK. Just so, like, look at the range on this thing. It's ridiculous range on this Reality Rift. And it's only going to get better with the enchantments coming his way. Rotation top by Dire, pushing out this top lane. And it seems like they're setting up for Tormentor. Radiant are not in a position to contest this. And who's the lucky one today? It's going to be Drabs on the Hoodwink. So gets the Boomerang, nice damage amp. It's going to be really good with the Queen of Pain ult. You can just throw that on somebody and that just gives another 25% damage from that Queen of Pain ult. And Dire going to go bottom and smoke up and look for a play. Only Radiant hero down here is Furion, not under vision. They are drawing a line to him, at least the Queen of Pain is. I don't think they're going to be able to find him there. They're going to drop the obs. They see the camp's dead, so they know Furion was here. Remains to be seen how much they want to commit to this. Prophet's allies are not too far away. Oh no, he's AFK. Oh, misses the Boomerang, or the Bushwhack though. Just gonna burst. They try and TP in 2 heroes, but on that outpost it just takes way too long. And they cancel those TPs. So Prophet just... I think they're looking at the where to TP or looking somewhere on the map. And just did not react. The Bushwhack did miss, but with the CK there, you're just gonna get stunned for 4 seconds, however long it is. 3 and a quarter. And Dire gonna transition that into a mid-tier 2 push. Creeps are not there, did get cut, but the backdoor protection is not kicking in, so Tier 2 will go down. Meanwhile, top lane, Mag is going to find pushing heroes from the side of Radiant, Shaman and DK. DK actually managed to get the TP, or the blink out, as Seal wants to stun this DK. Will go down to poison. And Granola picks up a double kill, picking off those 2 heroes. The tower is not in too much danger as the snake was hitting creeps. So losing 2 heroes for a little bit of tier 2 damage, probably not worth. 1300 gold swing as expands Dire's advantage. So Axe has the Blink Dagger. Going for the BKB. Not sure if they want to hold on to or try to avoid fighting before they have that BKB. It's pretty important on Axe. They're going to smoke up, immediately run into Drabs. There's a Lifestealer here. Ooh, Axe, Call, and Shackles go on the same targets. They stack that. This Hoodwink is actually staying alive for quite a while. Running away, Rasta blinks forward, has the Hex, gets bushwhacked there. Taking so long to kill this. Oh no, Axe pressed R on the Wild Wing Ripper. Drab's taking forever to die. Surely this gets punished by Dire. Lifestealer and Mag are here. The Straw Axe has no mana. But the Rasta's here. Shackles up Lifestealer, sacrificing his life. They actually don't care about the Shaman. They go for the Axe, bring down the Axe. Next they go for the Nature's Prophet. Nice trigger prioritization by Team Dire. They're going to bring down the Nature's Prophet. They're going to bring down the DK. They're going to bring down the Rasta. DK actually died down here to Queen of Pain. It's the 4 for 2. Lifestealer did go down at the end of that, so big chunk of gold evens it up slightly, but huge chunk of XP. As we look at levels here real quick, it's actually interspersed. Not too bad. I mean, Dire are clearly ahead, like tit for tat. They're about a level advantage right now across the team, but not as bad as it could be. Dire are positioning top. Tinker's got to be a little careful. This March is going to show, and Drab is going to run in here trying to find this Tinker. Bushwhack is going to spot him. Here comes the Boomerang. Here comes the Hoodwinkle. As they drop the Obs down to get the vision. Pull the Tinker to the low ground. That's going to bait an awesome 3-man RP. Dimitri finds these heroes just out of position. Brings down the Tinker. Brings down the Rasta. DK is just left 15 seconds on dragon form, didn't want to fight, forced to die anyway. They're going to transition this into more. They find veryoldman. As feels like Radiant are just collapsing a little bit under these RPs. It takes just a second to lose awareness of your hero, and you stack up and you get 3-man RP'd like that. Excellent mop up, 3,500 gold swing, 6,600 XP swing. Going to Team Dire. Lifesteal was not a part of that. Queen of Pain doing most of the damage and getting most of the gold.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Lifesteal working on that Ags. Very annoying Ags to have to deal with. Just makes the hero very slippery with that. I think it's a 20-second cooldown. Yeah, 20-second cooldown. Gives the hero a ton of healing. You can dodge a lot of stuff. Very skirmishy. Type of build Granola is building here on that Lifestealer. As Team Dire are positioned for bottom, Lifestealer is probably going to find the DK here. Ooh, the Radiance did not tick the blink, so DK is able to get out of there with the fast reactions, but it's just going to be chased down by the Lifestealer. Dimitri, oh, the stun by the creeps, that was so sick, that almost canceled. The thing is Magnus Stampede or Skewer can't be canceled by a stun, like it doesn't freeze the hero in place, so even though the stun came out, and that was awesome, it wasn't going to stop the Magnus. That was hilarious try by the creeps there. But dead DK, Bushwhack comes out, shows the Tinker, and the Queen of Pain is going to blink in with Shiva's Guard, giving vision. Tinker's just going to be isolated. That is a scary sight as a support. You're hiding in the trees and all of a sudden you're dead out here in front of your tower. Like, how does that happen? Radiant are going to try and fight this. The Rasta will go down very quickly. Axe is forced to do full combo and just run away without having done much. Actually, Lifestealer and CK did die. Where the heck did they get the damage for that? DK was just the ward? Give me the fight recap. Who did the damage? This was Prophet. Prophet just did a ton of damage with Wrath of Nature again. Doomcow, farming in front of base. We'll pop the ult. Has no BKB or anything, and just is going to get exploded by this Hoodwink. Hoodwink a very strong hero versus DK. You break him, you just turn off a lot of his armor and regen. And at that point, the hero is not that scary to fight against. I could watch that fight again. In fact, I will. I really want to see like how these heroes died. Just real quick. So watching the Lifestealer. Lifestealer goes in, getting the tower. Okay, it was just the axe call. CK got really low. Axe just blinked in, killed them all. Alright. Let's try and fix this. As... Where are we? I think we were... There's so much stuff happening. I think we were here. Okay. DK is dead. No one else is dead. We're around here. Team Dire has split up. Got Quap in the mid lane, Lifestealer in the top lane, and Mag in the bottom lane. They're just pushing out waves after this DK kill. Roshan is up. It is going to be moving south at this moment, though. And it might be a next objective for them. Prophet is actually going... He was actually farming here. Hoodwink found him, but... Prophet's not going to stand around and find out how many Dire heroes were showing up for that kill. Axe is actually going to blink in, find Seal on this Chaos Knight, pops the BKB after the fact. Rasta gets stunned up by the CK to cancel that shackle on Emu. I think Emu would have died without that stun by Seal, so excellent job by the CK. Quap will be getting out of there. Has a regen, so all that damage was really for naught, as Quap is just going to have full resources again in just a little bit. And that did cost Axe his 8-second BKB. Tinker is going to be found by Mag, but Mag did not get far enough. FPS is not looking good. I wonder what's causing that lag. I'm just testing something real quick to see if I can get better frame rate. No, it didn't work. Okay. Team Granola is going to be doing the Roshan. They will be grabbing it and putting it on. I expect the Lifestealer. Okay, I was going to say Queen of Pain, but Lifestealer is likely going to be the one hitting buildings, so makes sense to put on him. As Prophet goes to the only safe part of the map, it feels like, to farm. Did not grow any treants, so you can't really cut waves with it. You're gonna have to just manually go in as a... I actually have a pick-off on the Hoodwink. CK, or DK's Dragonite is able to get out. Axe, BKB to try and TP out, but they will commit the RP for that Axe kill. So it ends up being an Axe kill for a Hoodwink, BKB used by Axe, RP used by Dimitri on that Magnus. And gold ends up favoring Radiant at the end of the day. Tinker's gotta be careful if they find them. They do not. Skedaddled out of there. Is there another Tormentor? There is. Dire are going to be running up there to try and secure that Tormentor. And I think it went on the Hoodwink last time. So who is it going to be this time? Seal? Yeah, Seal on the CK. Not the greatest shard. It creates an illusion, which does quite a bit of damage actually, so it's pretty good at picking off squishy heroes. The thing about support CK is that it still does a ton of damage, even though it's not, you know, slotted out. Like, the ultimate still creates summons that deal, you know, plus 100% damage, plus 100% damage. So if the enemy doesn't have ways to kill the illusions, it's like a... It's almost like a Svenwell. It's like a 3 or 4 times damage buff for this hero. You know, 124 damage goes a long way. You can use that to pick off heroes like Rasta or this, maybe this, possibly this Furion. Furion does have a lot of armor though. Mid lane Axe is going to find a couple of heroes. Maybe they found him. Forced to blink, or BKB, Blade No Couple comes out, picks up that Rasta. Dragonite isolated, will go down. Queen of Pain blinks forward aggressively. Gets zapped back by the Tinker. She's going to go right back in though. Gets that kill on Tinker. Veryoldman isolated all alone with the Axe in Fountain. Healing up. He's just going to Try and Nightfall out of there. Gets out of there at the skin of his teeth.
Tower is
So little HP.
the radiant glyph is now active.
I think that was sub 100 HP. But nice escape by veryoldman. That would have been a massive kill by Team Dire. As it is, they are able to hit this tier 3. As Axe is gonna go in without his team alive. They try and pick off the lifesteal. Lifesteal is just gonna be able to ult out of there though, as the Prophet is now left to die by himself. I think the play was to try and get the lifestealer because he was pretty low. I don't think the Prophet was really able to get on top of him. It felt like a really weird play because there was no creep wave, it was backdoored. You can afford to let this Rax go. And you kill your Prophet with that kind of play. But I'm not sure I agree with that execution. Like, does killing the lifestealer really help you? Like, your team was not coming up at that time. Like, would you have been able to transition that into more kills if the lifestealer did? Maybe. They're gonna blink Orchid this Quap. The push by Tinker actually may have costed that kill, as DK was not able to get 2 hits off because of the translocate or whatever it's called. So I guess the Warp Flare. Does the Warp Flare does do damage? I don't know if 150 magic damage is worth 2 DK right clicks. The Queen of Pain just barely able to get out of there. Actually went back to base to regen up. Has a bit of a haste run, so we'll be able to catch up with her team very shortly here. Is Dire going to form up again? They still have Aegis on Lifestealer. Yeah, Lifestealer even had Aegis for that blinking by Axe. They're going to start the fight. They're going to go on Lifestealer again. And Mag is just going to get one of the sickest RPs of all time. 4-man RP just catches everybody, explodes everybody. DK out of position, gets blown up. veryoldman, the only one standing on Team Gradient. DK does have that buyback. Should he choose to use it? We'll use it. Go and try and help his Prophet out, but it's just these two versus the world. Mag and Max did actually die, but at this point, not going to be enough. Team Radiant get wiped. They lose the lifesteal, they lose the Mag. Sick RP by Dimitri. And their push is a little bit blunted without that lifestealer. He's definitely a lot of their right-clicking damage on these towers, but should be able to get at least a set of racks before the supports respawn. Supports are coming out. Are they going to try and make a play if this axe coming up, or are they just going to let it go? They're going to try something. Seal jumps on the Tinker. Rasta jumps on the Drabs. Queen of Pain just picks off the Tinker with a massive hoodwink sharpshooter shot. Goes and gets to pick off on a Nameless. This team is very mobile, or at least has really good ways of catching heroes, punishing them when they're out of position on Team Dire. Queen of Cane can just blink in, do her combo. Hoodwink has very long range, Gleipnir, Sharpshooter, and the CK, if you ever are within 1,000 range of the CK, you are just getting pulled into him. So very difficult game to as a support on Team Radiant versus this draft. Team Dire 38,000 gold ahead, as the win rate has flatlined at 93% in favor of Team Granola. Only one set of racks remaining in the top lane, and Dire are positioning for the GG push. Prophet trying to get a little bit of extra gold up here in his favorite farming spot. And what kind of fight does Team Radiant have left in them? Granola is going to start hitting the tower, but will get forced back. CK finds the grab onto the DK. He is just so far. Oh no, pops the DK right at the very end. Axe Call finds 2, but Queen of Pain will just, I think, hits everybody. So much damage. Queen of Pain blinks in onto the Tinker, brings him down. Nice sharpshooter by the Hoodwink. Brings down the Prophet. Buyback on Rasta. Tinker goes down. Rasta is the only one remaining. Let's see what you got, Rasta. Come on, Nameless. You got Warden 5. Let's see what you got. Now they're going to tap out. So Team veryoldman will drop game 2 after winning game 1. So the series goes 1-1 in this Seal Week 4 matchup. I believe this is a Week 4. I could be wrong on that front. As all CS, no damage. Take victory. We'll take a look at the stats real quick. That's the wrong game. Seal. CS, no damage. Match detail. Yeah, a bit one-sided. There were a couple fights where Radiant did get a little bit of advantage back, but they just started losing team fights and buildings at the end of the game there, and it just kind of snowballed from there. Just sick RPs by Magnus, just deciding fights. Queen of Pain, they never really had an answer for her. Just 22, 2, and 20, just popped off that game. Hoodwink as well, just made a ton of space with the sharpshooter shots. Stalin, excellent performance by the heroes on Team Dire. Axe did have a couple nice calls. Prophet did do his damage with the right clicks. DK and Rasta were working together to try and make space for the pushes, even if it didn't work out so hot. And I did not really notice too much of an impact by Tinker. Tinker did stop a lot of pushes with the March of the Machines. But there weren't like super high impact plays I noticed by that here. So it could have been a draft fault. It's just you didn't really have like that wombo combo on the side of Team Ring that will let you like end the fight really quickly. Kind of like RP. But yeah, I don't have much more to say about that. So series 1-1, excellent plays by both teams. I've been Munchlo. Thank you all for watching this Seal Game 2. Apologies for the low quality of the stream and the notifications in the background. And yeah, stick around. See you next time.